What is cannabis? It may seem like a very simple question, but there's actually a lot of interesting complexity packaged in this one little word. Yes, cannabis is a plant, and cannabis is one plant. As far as most researchers can agree, cannabis is one species of plant. But cannabis can present itself in a lot of different forms, both in how it grows, the colors it presents, the smells and tastes that it presents, and the chemical profile, which is behind a lot of those differences. There are some plants that are grown for fiber that typically have these really long stalks, and then you have cannabis plants grown for resin. And this resin contains some unique chemicals in it called cannabinoids or cannabinoids. THC is one of these cannabinoids, and it's the primary constituent of cannabis that gets people high. But cannabis produces over 150 cannabinoids as far as we know so far. And then on top of that, within these resins, there are also a class of compounds called terpenoids, compounds that make up a lot of the essential oil fraction of these resins. They're very volatile, very aromatic. They provide a lot of smell to the cannabis plant, although they're not the only chemicals providing the smell to the cannabis plant. The cannabis plant produces approximately 200 or more of those compounds, almost certainly more. Within cannabinoids and terpenoids, there is a ton of opportunity for variation. A lot of different ways that the chemical profiles of cannabis can be different. You can have cannabis plants with a lot of THC and very little CBD. You can have cannabis plants with a lot of CBD and very little THC, or equal amounts, and everything in between. You can have cannabis plants that are dominant in certain terpenoids and less dominant in others, and vice versa. And then, of course, you have all of the other different qualities of cannabis that can vary as well. You have cannabis plants that grow like short little bushes, and you have cannabis plants that grow tall like trees. So this is all to say, think about what you say. The word cannabis means a lot of different things, and we haven't even gotten into all of the ways the cannabis plant can be processed, all of the different ways that these resins can be extracted, all the different ways that these resins can be refined, and then all the ways that these refined and unrefined extracts can be formulated into different products. And all along the way, the chemistry can change and really result in unique products. So there's a ton going on. Be careful what you say and clarify what you mean when you say cannabis products or you're talking about cannabis. What cannabis are you talking about? Which cannabis? What chemical profiles? A little clarity can go a long way. It can be easy to get lost when all you read about is cannabis as if it's all one thing. So what is cannabis? A lot of things. And it turns out that cannabis is not just one tool in the herbal tool chest, but is actually many tools in the herbal tool chest. And the same applies to most other medicinal plants as well. Most plants exhibit a ton of variation, and we're really only in the past several decades really starting to appreciate all of that diversity and what it means for how we engage with medicinal plants or functional foods and things like that. If you like this video and you want to see more content from Curious About Cannabis, make sure to actually like the video and hit the subscribe button so you get reminded when we release more content. I look forward to catching you in the next video. Stay curious and take it easy. Bye-bye.